How to become a fashion photographer. Before starting to tell you things and go into details, I would firstly like to tell you what is fashion photography and how a fashion photographer works. Fashion photography is one of the well-known types or genres of photography that is totally related to the amazing fashion world. In my opinion, it is like an art in itself. Fashion photography sometimes includes magazines, runways, shows, and many other things, and basically, the photographer goes to important events, and the whole thing is in his or her hands. In case you want to become a fashion photographer, but you don't know where to start and how to do so, that's what I'm here for, to help you find out. In this article, I will mention some interesting tips or advice on how to become a fashion photographer. Let us go directly to the topic. Tips on how to become a fashion photographer. Be ready to work. We all know that laziness is destroying almost everything. Well, as always. Anyways, it is more than obvious that it can definitely destroy a starting career of a fashion photographer too. You should always be ambitious, and whenever you don't feel like working as a fashion photographer, don't try it in any way. We all know that working in a job in which you are not free and don't like it is the worst thing that one can do. That's why I'm saying that you should definitely be ready to work. You can deal with many things and many different people that may bother you, but if you are into it and want to do your job in the best way possible, then it is more than easy to become one of the greatest fashion photographers. Be into fashion / find out about fashion. You cannot enter a world in which you have no idea what you will deal with. Well, fashion is definitely a world in itself, but still, in order to enter this world, you should definitely do your research first, and just as the title says, you should definitely be one of those people that are into fashion all the way up. However, if not, there are many ways in which you can be into it. Magazines, especially Vogue, are the greatest thing that someone can find related to fashion, and you all know how cool pictures Vogue photographers bring, right? I think you should definitely check the internet as well, so that you can understand who is who and who does what. Photography skills. There are no models needed. There are needed photographers that will take pictures. What do I mean by that? You can't take pictures if you have no idea how to do so. You definitely should have some photography skills in order to perform in the best way possible. There are definitely the main things that you should know regarding photography in general, and if you don't already know them, you shouldn't have to worry, because the basic ones are very simple to be understood. That means that you can learn them super easily. Editing skills. A photographer not only takes pictures, but he should also know something else, especially if he or she is a freelancer and doesn't work with anyone else. Editing. Editing is a special thing that should definitely be known by photographers, and become a fashion photographer. Editing is one of the processes through which goes every picture that you may take. Practice. How to practice if you don't have a model or an item of special clothing from a brand to take a picture of. I guess it is time to call your friends and take your clothes out of the drawer. You can practice with whatever you have in front of you. Practicing will never let you fail. Find an agent. Even though it may sound a bit fast and weird, finding an agent is the best thing that you can do. However, I would like to mention that firstly you need to have a little bit of money on the side so that you can use it for whatever you need it. An agent doesn't work free, and an agent is never a freelancer. Still, they can be the biggest help if you want to become a fashion photographer. As many photographers say, an agent is the first and the main instrument if anyone wants to become a well-known photographer. Be original. Always be a first-rate version of yourself, said the amazing actress Audrey Hepburn, who was an icon at the time. That amazing lady was more than right. Originality is the key to becoming a perfect professional in any job that you are starting a career. That goes with fashion photographers as well. Always try to bring your own opinions and your own ideas to the rounded table of fashion photography. You will notice. Build a portfolio / website. If you are ready with the things that I mentioned above, I think that the time has come to market yourself a little bit. Marketing has become a very powerful tool through which almost every job is having a profit. Many fashion photographers use different ways of becoming famous or finding a job, and one of the ways they do so is using and making a portfolio in which they include everything that should be done.